Let me ask you something. You just finished a long day at work, exhausted, mentally drained. Your partner walks through the door, bouncing with energy, ready to process everything that happened. Meanwhile, you just want silence. You want to be alone. And immediately, without saying anything, your partner takes it personally. They think you're pulling away. They wonder if something's wrong with them. This moment happens in relationships every single day. But here's the thing nobody talks about. This isn't a small problem. This is the crack that slowly destroys quiet people's relationships from the inside. The dark truth? Quiet people don't struggle in relationships because they're cold or unfeeling. They struggle because the world and their partners fundamentally misunderstand them. And that misunderstanding costs them more than people realize. When you're introverted, your brain processes the world differently, literally. Your nervous system has higher baseline arousal, meaning you're already processing more stimuli than extroverts. Think of it like this. While other people see the world in regular color, your brain is experiencing it in high definition. Every emotional tone, every social cue, every unspoken tension, you're absorbing all of it. So when you come home from being around people all day, you're not being distant. You're recovering. You're processing. You're trying to quiet down a mind that's been operating at maximum capacity. But here's what your partner sees. Here's what they're experiencing from the outside looking in. At the end of the day, they want to connect. They want to talk, laugh, process their day out loud. This is how their brain works. They get energy from interaction. And you, the person they love most, appear to be shutting them out. Unintentionally, you've sent a signal that says, "Leave me alone," when really what you meant was, "I need a moment." This creates a painful dynamic. The introvert comes off as aloof and irritable, while the extroverted partner comes off as needy and overwhelming. Neither person is trying to hurt the other, they're just speaking different languages. But the damage happens quietly. Over time, your partner starts believing you don't value them as much as they value you, and you start feeling guilty for being who you are. Now, let's look at where things really fall apart. How you actually communicate. Extroverts think out loud, processing externally. Your thoughts, though? They take longer routes through brain areas linked to planning and internal processing. In simple terms, they're ready to talk about a problem immediately. You need time to think through what you actually feel. This is where the spiral begins. Your partner brings up something that's bothering them. They need to discuss it now. But you're not ready. You need to sit with it, examine it from different angles, make sure you understand your own emotions before you speak. So you go quiet. What's happening internally is productive. You're trying to be thoughtful, but what they're seeing is silence. And silence in moments of conflict feels like rejection. Many introverts struggle to express their feelings immediately because their thoughts require time to form. In relationships, this gets misunderstood as distance or disinterest. Your partner might think you don't care enough to fight for the relationship. They might think you're avoiding the issue. But you're actually trying to do the opposite. You're trying to respond with care and thoughtfulness. Here's the cruel part. A lack of rest can leave your introvert brain feeling foggy, making miscommunication even more likely. The more stressed the relationship becomes, the harder it is for you to communicate. It's a trap with no way out. So you start making a choice, a dangerous choice. Instead of speaking up about small things that bother you, because speaking up feels too uncomfortable, too energetically draining, you stay silent. You let them build up. You tell yourself it's not worth the conflict. You convince yourself that keeping the peace is more important than expressing your needs. But quiet suffering isn't love. It's slow poison. Here's something that might sound contradictory. Quiet people are actually more capable of deep emotional connection than almost anyone else. Research confirms this. Introverts value deep connections and are often more loyal friends because they invest time and emotional energy meaningfully. When you finally do open up, when you finally let someone in, you go deep. You share things other people wouldn't dare reveal. You build relationships based on genuine understanding, not surface-level small talk. So far, so good. Your partner feels special, they feel seen. But then something happens that trips everything up. Past experiences where you've been misunderstood or judged for your quiet nature create protective barriers in your brain. Your nervous system remembers. And when vulnerability feels risky, you unconsciously pump the brakes on trust building. You've been called too quiet your whole life. You've been in situations where your silence was criticized, where your need for alone time was taken as rejection. So, on some level, maybe not consciously, but definitely, you're protecting yourself. Your partner is waiting for you to share more. Meanwhile, you're waiting to feel completely safe before revealing your full thoughts and feelings. And you're both waiting, neither one realizing what's happening. The paradox is brutal. The person most capable of loving deeply is the one most afraid to be fully seen doing it. Let me paint a picture that might hit close to home. Even positive time with your partner exhausts you. That's not a flaw, it's a neurological fact. Your brain reaches a saturation point faster than theirs. This is when introvert hangover kicks in. You've spent your social energy, and now you need time alone to recharge. But your partner doesn't have a hangover. They're still energized. They want more talking, more time together, more connection. And here's where quiet people make the biggest mistake. Even when you love someone deeply, you sometimes experience an introvert hangover, that need for alone time even from your romantic partner. If your partner doesn't understand this without taking it personally, it chips away at what you believe a healthy relationship should be. You start withdrawing, not to punish them, but because you genuinely cannot give anymore. Your cup is empty, and the guilt of feeling empty makes you want to disappear further. Your partner feels the distance. They feel hurt. They start demanding more reassurance, more time, more proof that you care. And the more they demand, the more you need to retreat. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're both right about what you're feeling. The partner is getting less connection, and you are becoming more withdrawn. Neither of you caused it, but both of you blame yourselves. Meanwhile, the relationship is slowly suffocating. There's one more piece to this puzzle, and it's the darkest one. Quiet people often make a choice that seems logical at the time, but destroys everything. When you feel something isn't right in the relationship, when there's tension, awkwardness, unspoken conflict, you don't address it. Because addressing it means confrontation, and confrontation feels overwhelming. It feels like too much. Introverts often avoid disagreements because conflict feels overwhelming and energetically draining. So you stay silent when something bothers you, preferring harmony and emotional safety. But here's what research shows. The small moments of remembering and following up, how did that interview go? Or are you feeling better? Are actually where friendship deepens. When people shy away from these vulnerable moments, relationships stay pleasant, but shallow. Your silence becomes a prison. You're trying to protect yourself from discomfort, but you're actually ensuring the relationship never reaches true intimacy. Even worse, your partner starts picking up on this silence. They sense something is wrong, but they don't know what. They feel confused. They wonder if they've done something to hurt you. They feel rejected by your withdrawal. And here's the cruel irony. The silent treatment, consistently withholding communication to punish or control, becomes a lever. The other person feels confused and desperate, trying to break through the wall. That dynamic erodes trust and can damage mental health. You weren't trying to give them the silent treatment. You were just trying to avoid conflict. But the impact is the same. Now for the part that actually matters. The part that changes everything. The research reveals something that quiet people rarely hear. Silence can act like a workspace for the mind, a place where thoughts assemble before they become words. This isn't broken communication, it's concentrated presence. You're not the problem. Your need for quiet isn't the problem. Your processing style isn't a character flaw. The problem is that nobody told you or your partner that this was normal. Modern Western culture misunderstands and undervalues the traits of introverted people. This cultural bias causes many introverts to believe something is wrong with them, leading to a colossal waste of talent, energy, and happiness. You've been operating under the assumption that there's something to fix about yourself. So you've been trying to be more talkative, more outgoing, more responsive. You've been fighting your nature. But every time you fight your nature, you're fighting the only tool that actually makes you a better partner. Your ability to listen deeply, to observe carefully, to think before you speak. Here's what actually works. Research shows that couples who feel safe thinking their own thoughts while enjoying the pleasure of togetherness experience peacefulness that was previously thought possible only in solitude. You don't need to separate to have alone time. You need your partner to understand that silence doesn't mean disconnection. The moment your partner learns this, the moment they understand that your quiet is a feature, not a bug, everything shifts. So what actually changes things? First, radical honesty about what you need. Not sometime in the future, now. Don't wait until resentment has built up. Don't wait until you're so depleted you're considering leaving. Tell your partner early. I love spending time with you, but I need quiet time to recharge. It has nothing to do with how I feel about you. Say it clearly, say it often. Make it part of your shared language. Second, stop choosing silence over communication. Choose vulnerability over comfort. Psychology emphasizes the importance of assertive communication, expressing your thoughts and feelings honestly without being passive or aggressive. A simple explanation like, I love spending time with you, but I need some quiet time to recharge, can go a long way in building mutual understanding. The discomfort of one honest conversation is nothing compared to the slow erosion of a relationship built on unspoken frustrations. And third, recognize that your introversion isn't something to apologize for. It's something to build on. When you finally accept this, when you stop trying to be someone you're not, your relationships transform. You stop performing. You stop overgiving until you're empty. You stop carrying guilt for being human. And paradoxically, that's when you become more present, more generous, more truly yourself. The dark truth about quiet people in relationships isn't that they're broken. It's that they're trying to fit into a world designed for someone else's temperament. And the worst part? They're often the most capable of building deep, meaningful, lasting connections. They just need permission and understanding to do it in their own way. If this resonated with you, if you felt this pain in your own relationships, the first step isn't changing who you are. It's being honest about who you actually are. Because the irony of quiet people is this: the world tells them to speak more, but what they actually need is for someone to finally listen.